What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and no, your eyes are not deceiving you. Finally, the Nova Blast has made its way into the Foxcade. I mean, we're not actually in the Foxcade just quite yet because we've got to do some assembly, and it's kind of crowded in there when you fill it up full of arcade games. So we're going to do that assembly out here in the bar area, and we're going to address the number one issue when it comes to these Unico Nova Blast candy cabs, and it's not so much the hardware, it's the packaging that the hardware comes in. There's been major issues with shipping. The packaging was not good enough to protect all the components inside. Has some customers out there having bad monitor bezels and even bad monitors themselves. I've been assured by Unico that the packaging has been upgraded substantially. Is it going to eliminate all the issues? We're going to find out about it right now. Okay, so let's briefly go ahead and start with the boring part, and that's just the base. Should be almost nothing breakable inside here. It's all just going to be metal. I'm interested to see how this changed from the prototype that I unboxed out in Kansas City. Let's take a look inside. Like I said, there's not going to be too much I'm going to be concerned with in here when it comes to this. Okay, so far so good. It's just metal. There's nothing really to damage here. There could be some really dented, oh, well, we got something right here. Whoa, hey, what the hell? What are you doing? Looks like we got a dent right here on the first panel, or the second panel. Got a dent right here. It's not good. You can see how dented it is compared to this door. So that's not good. Just a little bit of a press with your hand straightens it out, but they could definitely support this front panel a little bit better. This is just going to be, the door just loose there. Not a scratch, no damage to the powder coat, but a dent all the same. Let's go ahead and take a look at all of the hardware and accessories that are going to be included when you purchase the Nova Blast base. Now, before I continue with the assembly on the base, there are a couple things that I want to point out to you. Obviously, you saw that the face panel was bent. I was able to bend that back by hand. That was really no big deal. But you see here, this is a bit of an issue when you're going to fit these things together. You can see what this corner should look like. This angle piece should be bent like that. It is actually laid over right here. So I'm going to have to actually bend that back up. The other side looks pretty good. It's only slightly bent right here. Now this is the base of the base, so it's going to be kind of important to make sure that this is correct so that the other pieces can sort of tab into this. Now I think this should be simple to just bend this back. I don't want to show this kind of in real time, what I have to do. Flat blade screwdriver to get in there. And usually if you have something that's bent and it doesn't, damage the powder coat, it's no big deal. You can see here it is a little cracked, so that is disappointing for sure. Once I have that pried up, put the little adjustable wrench on there to get this broke over. You can tighten that up and bend that up just like that. That is, I guess, both the good thing and the bad thing about metal pieces, metal parts. They do bend, but if it does show up with these brackets a little bit tweaked, it's not too terribly difficult to get it bent back. Now, is this something you should have to do? Of course not. This is not something you should have to do. But, considering we didn't have any other major damage to the cabinet, something like this, well, I can live with it. Okay, so this is the big bad boy. Let's make sure, let's hope that there's nothing going on here. These little tabs just kind of pull up. So, fingers crossed, everything on the inside will be good to go. I do like how simple that was. Got pretty thick foam all the way around. And, oh, it's a box within a box. Look at this. Okay, so the box within a box, I believe, is different from the original, or the first wave of the Nova Blast. And like that. All right. And this should be the big reveal. There's a lot of cardboard. Okay, so I think this is going to be pretty similar to the way it was packaged before. So you've got control panel, and then this is the U4, so it's got the big speakers. It's the marquee panel right there. On this side, foam all the way around. And here is the bezel here and the monitor facing the big metal components. And maybe they should put this on the back side down here. I'm not exactly sure, but this is the way this is packaged. Here is our manual and all the hardware. Okay, so let's get these two main components out and let's take a look at that monitor. Okay, a moment of truth, right? Moment of truth. So the styrofoam should separate and you take these pieces out one at a time. From what I understand. I guess we could tip the whole thing over, but I don't want to do that because the monitor is, the whole thing is upright. Okay, so pry that open. Yeah. Got plenty of room between the joysticks. Oh, this is odd. Yeah, I guess we can just do that, right? Just break that open. All right. There's the control panel in all of its glory. Now time for inspection of the showcase. The main culprit, the thing that's been the biggest source of headache for Nova Blast owners. All right, so we have this. Looks like the bezel is shipped loose. It's not really secured in there at all. But the good thing is it's not cracked. What about the monitor? And the monitor looks good, and it still has its thick protective film in place. That's awesome. Always a good thing. Let's go ahead and peel this off. Beautiful. Okay, well, so far, so good. Now, once you get everything undone, there's no real grab handles on the side, but you can just grab the top of this. It's fairly light, and put it right where you can work on it. Okay, so I have done absolutely nothing. Nothing's even connected. Make sure I keep this stuff kind of out of the way. Make sure there's no exposed wiring anywhere. We've got power on the cabin. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the button and just see if the monitor comes on. Fans came on. And the monitor is on. Of course, to assemble the bar top, you're going to have hardware and accessories, and it comes with both. There's really not going to be much here. It's kind of surprising when you think about the size of this project overall, but you're going to have minimal hardware. I mean, just small screws, similar to what we saw with the base. I think these may actually be a little bit larger than the really small screws that are used to fasten the sheet metal to the base. Other than that, that doesn't come with a few Allen wrenches here. You've got a couple brackets. Not sure where those go. We're going to find that out together. Looks like it might be for the controllers. Extension cables for your actual controls. There's going to be a power cord, obviously, and then coin trays. Yes, 2 trays that hold coins, not ash of any kind. Now, before you start bolting on components to the bar top that's going to make it a little bit heavier and a little bit more awkward, there's something you have to consider if you have a base and you want to actually have your game boards or game consoles stored in the base. There is an access panel on the very bottom of the bar top. You want to go ahead and take that off first. Let that be the first thing you do. Lay this thing back, take it off, then you can put it back upright and then put everything back on. It's just going to be one thing that you're going to kind of kick yourself if you put the whole thing together, then you realize, oh yeah, I forgot to do that. So player 1 and player 2 connections are going to be here. This is player 1, there's 2 connectors. Player 2, 2 connectors here. A couple additional things to hook up. Going to be your speakers. Here's that connection there. The right channel is labeled, so make sure right is right and left is left. Here's your volume control knob, plugs into the board right here. And then there's one more connection. This is for the power switch, and it's going to be right here. Now, before we can mount the marquee and speaker pod on top of the cabinet, we're going to have to take off this access panel so that we have the ability to actually get in there and lock this thing down. Okay, so we're almost fully assembled. We still have the back panel off, obviously, because I want to be able to pick this up and set it on the base. I've also left the front bezel off for now because I want to have access to the monitor control board. Now, this is when a couple of these handles on the side would really come in handy, because I have to actually pick this up by that support bar, which is just like an edge sticking down, kind of gets into your hands a little bit. That would have been nice. I know it kind of breaks up the side art, but maybe something down here, I don't know. It feels like that could be better executed. You just want to kind of line it up. Like I said, that's pretty close. If you get the outsides flush, you're really close. And now it's time to install the big JAMA extension cable. I'm going to go ahead and run this side, the female side, down into the base where we're going to have our JAMA board. And it's really nice to see that the male connector is much more refined than what I saw on the original prototype. This goes together nice. Maybe they could have had some standoffs right here to where once you slide this in place, you can maybe put some screws in that and really keep that super secure. That feels pretty good. Let's just see how it works over time. It's a long walk, a long skinny arcade. So now here comes the moment of truth, right? Slide this bad boy next to what it's supposed to mimic and see how the two actually compare. Beautiful. Okay, so let's plug this thing in. And I did went ahead and loaded up my CPS2 board set with a little Marvel versus Capcom to try to get it all figured out. That's mounted underneath. JAMA is connected. The kick harness is connected. Now let's turn it on and see what it looks like. Nice. The sRGB. Okay. I think we can mess around with this picture and get that a little bit bigger. Colors aren't bad. It is an analog signal. It's not digital. Volume control right here. Oh! It gets loud. Cool. Okay, so what are my thoughts on the latest version of the Nova Blast from Unico? And I say the latest version because the initial rollout of this product, I don't think went quite as smooth as Unico wanted. There were some shipping issues, there was some damage, there were some quality issues, and that was definitely a big problem, especially when you're rolling out a brand new product in a form factor that not everybody's really into. You really needed to get that right. They kind of missed the mark on that, but in my opinion, they've definitely made up for it for sure. Now, there were a few bent panels on the base, which I don't think that was due to shipping. I think that was some issue in the factory, some quality control issue probably, but that was easily repaired. The big ticket item, the actual bar top itself, no issues whatsoever. You saw I plugged it in, fired it up, and away you go. The bezel I think has been improved somewhat. This appears to be more like matte instead of glossy, and it wasn't chipped up in any way. That was one of the bigger issues with the actual first wave of these cabinets. Going over everything, it's nice to have the volume knob right there. These speakers get really, really loud. This is the U4 version, not the U2. The U2 mimics the look of the marquee section on the Astro Cities. This is more like the new Astro City with the big giant speaker grills. The marquee is a little washed out, not gonna lie, but I think I'm probably gonna wanna replace that eventually with something else. Maybe something custom, you know, maybe something that says 19K Fox, or maybe something custom to whatever game I plan to have in here. Now, as far as the game that's in here now, this is a CPS2 board set running Marvel vs. Capcom, and it's really running without issues whatsoever. There's plenty of cooling with the big fans on the back, but there are some key differences between this and an original Astro City. Besides some of the marquee and some of the shape, obviously this is going to be a little bit taller. This is going to be a lot thinner, which I think overall is probably a good thing as far as space in your arcade. But there's a huge height difference. You're looking at about 5 inches difference between the bottom of a stock control panel on Astro City and the Nova Blast, 5 inches. And that is a big difference, and it definitely looks shocking when you put it right next to a stock candy cab like this. But I will say, this makes seating options much, much easier. You can take a standard office chair and roll it right up to this thing and start to play. When it comes to the original candy cabs, you really needed something shorter and lower to the ground. I guess, you know, in Japan, everybody's a little bit shorter than the average American. Overall, what is the value? So right now, you order this thing right now, configure it just like you see it, without the chairs, but just the deluxe model, which is the bar top and the base itself. You're looking at, after shipping and after taxes, and of course taxes may differ from state to state, if you take the taxes off the table, you're looking at $1,500. But you got a 26-inch LCD that now has all the adjustments that you need to get these images looking correct. And for a plug-and-play option when it comes to JAMA boards, I mean, you really can't beat it. I mean, it's definitely the way to go if you like a candy cab, and that's the big sticking point. I think Unico definitely hit something that was near and dear to my heart, but it's not for everybody. This is definitely a Japanese style cabinet. What's next for Unico? Hopefully something more American style. But as far as this goes, right now, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm impressed with the way it all went together. Now we're going to do a lot of testing. I'm going to mess around with obviously changing out this marquee. I want to change some of the keyed locks to just my regular keyless locks, and then we're going to try a lot of different board combinations. I've got some other stock JAMA boards. I'm going to get a Pandora's box, throw that in there, make sure all that functions properly, and then we're going to mess with different inputs, HDMI, RGB, all that. We're going to play with it all and see what actually looks the best and what's going to be the best setup for you. And some of that may require some conversion boards. We're going to check it all out and see. I want to send a special thank you to Unico for sending me this product for the purposes of review. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments section below, guys. Let me know any questions you have about the Nova Blast U4 from Unico. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. Y'all have a blessed day, and I will see all of you next time. All right, crank the volume. Wolverine.